We're surrounded by sounds all the time. Music, people talking, the city buzzing. But have you ever actually stopped to ask a really simple question? What is the best sound?
Now really, think about it for a second. What comes to mind for you? Maybe it's the sound of the ocean, or your favorite song coming on the radio, or maybe it's the sound of someone you love laughing. It's a great question, and the answer we're going to explore today, well, it might not be what you think.
Because according to the source material for this explainer, the answer isn't a sound you can just find on a playlist or, record out in nature. It's something way more fundamental.
And there it is. The best sound is the sound that has no sound. Okay, that sounds like a paradox, doesn't it? Kind of like a riddle. I mean, how can a sound have no sound? What does that even mean?
Well, the sound with no sound is, of course, silence. That's the big answer. It's simple, it's profound, and for a lot of us, if we're being honest, it's maybe a little bit uncomfortable. And that brings us to the next big question.
So, if silence is supposed to be the best sound, then why do so many of us try to avoid it? Why do we seem to have this constant, almost frantic need for noise in our lives?
Just think about it for a second. When you're in a conversation and there's a long pause, or you walk into a totally quiet room, what's that first feeling? For most of us, it's this little jolt of awkwardness, right? A feeling that something is missing. We're just not used to it anymore.
And so, what do? We fill the void. We turn on the TV, not even to watch, just for some background noise. We put on a playlist, scroll endlessly on our phones with the sound on, listen to the news. We're always looking for some kind of sound to be our companion, just to keep that total quiet away.
But what if, by always filling that space, we're actually missing out on something really important? The source here suggests that underneath all that noise we create, silence has this unique and frankly powerful benefit just waiting for us.
And this is really the core of it. When we're surrounded by noise, our attention is constantly being pulled outward. We're distracted by everything happening out there. But in silence, the whole thing flips. We finally get a chance to return to ourselves.
So the main point is this: silence isn't empty. It's actually a space that lets us reconnect with ourselves. Without all that external stuff demanding our attention, we can become truly present and, aware of our own thoughts and feelings again. It's like coming home.
Okay, so how do we actually start using this power? The good news is, you don't need to book a silent retreat or find a cabin in the middle of nowhere. It's something you can invite into your regular life with a super simple practice.
And that's literally it. That's the whole practice. It's not complicated at all. Just set aside a little bit of time each day, could be 5 minutes, could be 1 minute, and just be with the silence. No agenda, no goal to achieve.
The key here is that there's absolutely no pressure. You don't have to worry about doing it right. The invitation is just to experience a little bit of quiet for a few moments. You might actually be surprised what a huge difference it can make in your day and just in your own self-awareness.
So in the end, it's not really about hearing nothing. It's about discovering what you can only hear when everything else gets quiet, which leaves us with one last question for you to think about. In the silence, what will you hear?